Hey everybody, Motorpoet59 here. I'm going to talk a little bit about what I see and what I have seen as the beginnings of revisionist history and how that continues to be uh, fomented by the mainstream media, social media, and liberals who just don't want to they don't seem to want to deal with the facts of history. History all over the world is replete with warts and scars and cuts and bruises and ugliness, but it is history, and trying to rewrite it or make it something it is not will only make things worse. It will only cause people to repeat those mistakes. And that is something that history has proven time and again. But these people, especially in America, don't want to grab hold of that. I don't know if they're even capable of grasping that anymore. Man, our history is not all unicorns and rainbows. It seems to me, and has seemed for a long time, that so many people don't seem to understand the difference between entertainment and history. And when they watch a movie that is about something that happened in the past, whatever it is, that's not a complete fiction, they see these things in these movies and they tend to think that those are historical facts. And for the most part, unless you're watching a straight up documentary, that's just not the way it is. Especially if you're watching a film, if you go to the movies and spend $12 to watch a movie, or spend $8 or $5 or whatever to watch one on Prime and or Amazon or whatever platform you want to watch one of these new movies on, you are not watching an historical film. You are it's like people say, "Oh, this is a true story." No, it's not. It's inspired by actual events, or it's based on a true story. If they did the true stories and make these films that were true stories, most likely they would be boring or over the top offensive. That's why they don't do that. They have to take dramatic license to make these things interesting. And The Right Stuff is a good example. It is one of my favorite films ever, but it has so many historic jinks and little things where they've twisted things to make it to make it more entertaining. That it's I'm not going to say it's incredible because it's still a great film. I still love it. But when Tom Wolfe wrote that book, he knew that he was compiling facts from over here and facts from over here and timelines and moving timelines around and stuff. But he still maintained the integrity of the characters who were being portrayed. All the Mercury astronauts, Chuck Yeager and Scott Crossfield, the pilots, they were all portrayed very well. I do a lot of history stuff on Facebook. I'm on a lot of history pages, and one of them that I'm on is called California History, and it is loaded with liberals. I like the page because I learn a lot of interesting things about the history of California, but I have posted so many things on there that people come back and try to change it. I said, "Dale, this is a photograph of this, and this is what." "Oh no, there was this person and that person." And it's like, no, it wasn't. Where do you get this stuff? I wrote a piece about the history of Nevada City and Grass Valley up in Gold Country a while back, and I posted a photograph that was taken in 1852 of some white miners and some Chinese miners, and the accompanying text, it was a big long story that I wrote, a big article, and I talked about how when the white settlers started coming in and starting this mining in 1850 in that area, and blah blah blah. And some gal comes up, "Oh, well, I'm a local historian. I'm a historian of the gold country and the mine. And it was black people, and it was Hispanics, and it was..." I said, "No, it wasn't. No, it wasn't. There were very damn few black people in California in 1850. Certainly not enough to have been a factor in the mining in the mother lode country. In the Comstocks, it just didn't happen. Look at all the photographs from that time. You don't see that. The Orientals that you see are generally either working their butts off in the mines or they're running businesses of some sort. And opium dens. Oh, you can't say that. That's racist. That's the way it was. That's who ran the opium dens. It had nothing to do with race. It's just they brought that culture with them, and that's the way it was. But people don't want to believe that. They want to believe that there were unicorns and rainbows involved in the mining industry. I guess my point is, it's so easy for people to look back with the 150 or how many ever years of hindsight and try to inject modern societal norms with the societies back then, and those just weren't society norms at the time. You talk about the founding fathers, the play Hamilton, which I don't watch plays, but I've seen snippets of that play, with the black people being in authority in a couple of the scenes that I saw. I shouldn't say authority, but advisors to Jefferson and the founding fathers. I watched I can't remember. I was watching a movie. Oh, Annie, the newer Annie, about, they were showing FDR, the scene where she's singing "The Sun Will Come Out Tomorrow," and there's a black woman in FDR's advisor circle, and I just made the comment to my wife that there were no black women in FDR's inner circle. Not only were there not any black women, there weren't any women. And that's just the way it was at the time. People see films like that or plays like that, and they think they're watching history. And they would go, I didn't know there was a black woman in FDR's administration. Well, there wasn't. Like I said, there weren't any women, period. Everybody knows I worked for 40 years on the railroad. I'm a railroad historian. I'm not a train fan. I'm not a rail buff. I don't go out and watch trains. I shoot videos of them for my other channel, Mark Clay McGowan, and but to go out and watch trains, it's not my thing. But I love the history, and I posted a photograph of a white foreman, according to the accompanying text of that picture, the white foreman with 3 Chinese workers on a handcar, and that started the whole, the Chinese didn't get their due. No, but it took 100 years, and it's like, you're missing the point of the history. That I'm not saying anything about that. All I'm commenting on is the history. I don't need a lecture from people, or I don't need people's opinions about the societal norms of that time. It doesn't help to say things about them, because it doesn't change anything. It changes nothing. And that is when I get down to the revisionist history. Revisionist history doesn't change the facts of the things that happened. It only changes the current perception of those facts and causes people to believe things that aren't true about our history, or for those things to be excluded from our history, such as the tearing down of statues and the destroying of carved monuments, the Confederate flag. I don't give a rat's ass about the Confederate flag. I don't care. I was born in California. I had no family that fought in the Civil War, and my dad's family came after the Civil War. I don't care about any of that. I don't care. Do I think it represents slavery? No, I don't. Does it represent a huge piece of American history? Yeah, it does. Some people feel strongly about that, and they have the right to feel strongly about that. And the Constitution guarantees them the right to speak their mind openly and freely about how they feel about that. We don't have to like each other. We don't have to agree with each other. But the left have become thought police. And to write things down like I do in Facebook, I'm not trying to start a kind of a debate about things. I just love history. But the history that I provide based on the writings and the books and the resources that I have, it's not about politics. It's just about history. But all of that stuff is called on the carpet almost every time I post it, except on Pure Railroad pages. Anytime I just post it on a regular history page, I always have to listen to that from somebody. And I've gotten to where I really don't respond to it. I don't make comments. If you guys want to revise history, revise history. If you want to be wrong about things, be wrong about things. No skin off my nose. What do you think about all this? What do you think about revisionist history? What do you think about rainbows and unicorns in the 19th century or in the 18th century? Feel like I do? Let me know in the comments below. Shoot me an email at motorpoet59@gmail.com. Like, share, subscribe, click on the bell if you want to be notified of future content. We'll see you all later.